Welcome to Yeshiva Daf responsible Nishma Sam Yakashon Labas Yitzchok. We are holding Avoda Zara Daf Hey. We're starting in the end of the Dalam base, 4 lines from the bottom. Something more now like the following. Om Mishur Belevi. Lo Yasu Yisrael Esegel Elali Titen Pitchon Pe Lebal Tshuva. The only reason they did the Egel is to give Pitchon Pe Lebal Tshuva. What does it mean? Rashi explains that Am Yisrael were very strong. They didn't have any need to do the Egel. That was not, they couldn't withstand this challenge, but they didn't. And the reason they didn't was in order to give Pischim Pe Lebal Tshuva. So if people did Chatoim and they feel, hey, we have no way out. So look, Am Yisrael did a Chet Egel and they still survived. You have it, so to speak, purposely allowed or persuaded Am Yisrael to go and do the Aveiro in order to give a Pitchon Pe Lebal Tshuva. So it says the Gemara, it says that Kishbuch said that they were Mamish Yor Hashemayim. They were great. Two people that did Aveiro not appropriate for their level. He said, I have no Yitzhak. The Yitzhak was dead. So they both were in a level that they should not have done the Aveiro. So why did they do it? Says the Gemara Daf Mudalef, if a person did an Aveiro, you should know. Individual does Aveiro, says, where can I get out of it? David HaMelech. Tzibur does Aveira, how can you get out of it? Look at Am Yisrael in general. The individual does the Chet on his own, he's not so, that's a big Chil Hashem. Aval Tzibur, the Farsa Chatayim Elohim, Tzibur that's a big much more Chet, maybe not. The Yeshvin Tzibur, Mishud Benefishi Rechmayim, more Rachim than a Tzibur. Aval Yochid Elohim, Eschusayim Elohim, Tzibur, that's why I need both. Haida Bishmo Barachmayim Yosef, my Dechtim Num David Benisha, Num Agever Hu Kamal. What is what we talk about? We call it Hu Kamal. Num David Benisha Shekim Ula Shel Tshuva. He brought the Tshuva about because he's teaching everybody how to do Tshuva. And the Vilna Gaon as well, we always mention, it says that the David HaMelech was special. His Tshuva was accepted completely. So he gives real hope for Bali Tshuva. He does a mitzvah, it will precede him to the Mabo. Shirema va'alech lefanecha tzikecho kvod Hashem yosvecho. It goes in front of him. It also surrounds him and takes it to Madin. Mara points out different loshon. By mitzvah it says mekadamtoi. By Aveira it says melafaftoi. It's because the mitzvah really belongs to him more, and the Aveira is just attacking him without his will. Shirai lafaftoi oichus darko. Those who make sure, but Kekel is tied to him like a dog. Shirema v'lo shemayla ishkavetzo li yois imo. Yois down to be with Eshes Betifar, because it says there are many Lashoshers. L'shkavetzo boilam hazeh, yois imo boilam labo. Says the more now. Omar Shlokish. Bo v'nachzik toivo la v'seinu. We should be, you say, a big shakrayach to our parents. Shimalayem lechatu, loichatu anu libanu loylam. If they would not sin, we would not come to the world. Shirema ani amayti elokimatim yoyom kulchem, chibaltem ha'seichem achen kodnum tamus. Chibaltem ha'seichem is an additional losh, that's not part of the pasuk. So I said, you are like a god, which means you're going to live forever. But you're going to die. That's what he says. Says the more the main word, but now you're going to die because you did. So the more right now is Mechadish Am Yisrael in time of Har Sinai, they were supposed to live forever. There would be no Misa. And because of the hate, that's why they died. So and Rishon Code says, we have to be very, very happy with our saying that the Chotu, because if not, we will not come to the world. Said the more the main word, they will not do a hate, so they will not have children. It says there's a mitzvah to have puruvu. Sing one at Sinai. That's until Sinai. Sinai, they live forever. They don't need to have kids. This is more the first stage. It says you have to go back to your tent to be with your wife. It says more the simcha zoyna, to make the wife happy, but not to have kids. So you have children. No, people that came to Sinai, they had children. The servant told us, He says there's a sefer Avoda Marisha. What was the sefer? All the generations were there, the Hashanim, were the Chachamim, were the Parnasim. He saw the next generations. Gets Rav Akiva. He's very happy with the Torah of Akiva, such a tremendous Torah, and he's sad how Akiva dies. How dear to me is your friend, your people that love you, Rabbi Akiva. Another Gemara, Mashiach is not going to come until the neshamas of the goof are finished, meaning that there is Rashi brings that there is a oitzer, some storage facility in Shemayim called Guf. And all the neshamas are there. All the neshamas are sitting over there. And until that's not emptied out, Mashiach is not coming. Shemayim kiloi loy l'mariv, loy l'netzach yitzov, and won't be angry forever. Ki ruach milfona yatoiv, u'neshamas ani asisi. Right? So the ruach is coming. Rashi says over here that the ruach is the ruach asher lefonai, neshama shebeguf yatov. In other words, the ruach is bringing the neshamas, and I'm going to take the neshamas which are standing in front of me. The Baruch has a certain amount of neshamas that have to come to the world. So what you're saying that they didn't have kids? What do you mean they have kids? It says that there's supposed to be neshamas coming out to the world, and it says that other generations saw all the generations. Torah says over here, what about the neshamas of the goyim? So the neshamas of the goyim, they come from a different place. That's not the same place. So they don't belong there. Says more like if all the generations would not have died, of course they would have children. But what would we be considered? Just think about it in a way that we understand. Imagine Chavetz Chaim is living over here. Do you have any other of the Gedolim of this generation? Not think it'd be more. Imagine the Vilna Gaon is over here. Imagine the Ramban, the Rashba over here. Imagine the Amoraim, the Tanoim are here. Imagine Dora Midbar over here. Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron. Anybody else has no chashivas. The fact that we have any importance, any significance, is because they're not here. So the next generation has to do it. Says the Gemara, so it says over here, Shloki is telling us, if they wouldn't have sinned, they would not have died. It says Parshas Yevomis, if a person dies, so it's because do Yibum. Nachlois, when he dies, he bequeaths his Nachlo. So that means, if you'll die, this will be the day. So when Michtiv Kral died, we have Psukim written, which is only a condition of something else. In Acham Shum, as we saw earlier in the Masechta. By the Tiv Yom Hashishi, what's Hashishi? And how much Shakosh Bochi, my separation is long, my Mekatim Yisrael, the Torah Mutov, Milavak Zayt Chel Torah Vavoy. I'm supposed to see the Torah great, and if not, you're going to be destroyed. So you see over here that, there's Akash Baruch Hu is saying, I'm creating the world, but it's a condition, I'm supposed to get the Torah. So I'm giving you Nachlois and Nivamis, if I'm supposed to So, it says, I want their heart to be with him. I mean, when Amos was receiving the Torah, Akash Baruch Hu is so impressed, so to speak, with the fact that Amos was so Yirei Shemayim. So it says the Brayso, I can't take away the Malachamovis, because already was Xera that there will be Malachamovis since Adam Rishon. So what did they get rewarded for the Torah? That no other nation will control them. It will always be good for them. So according to this Brayso, you see clearly they continue to live. They continue to die. The reward was they should not have any nation control them. But the whole he holds like a different Brayso. Torah is given to them, there was no Malachamovis. Now they did something wrong, you're going to die. Much before that, there will be no Misa. And this is the Machlekes here. Would Am Yisrael live forever if they would not sin in Chet Hegel? So it says, the Toivu the Avi or Misa Yikov Masha. There's Toivu, but there's still death. Says the Gemara, no. No, it's not Toivu, yes, Misa, no. The Toivu is the no Misa. It says also. It says people, the Masha only now after they sin they'll die. My Nisu and Nisu says no. Before, they would always die. What the Chiddush was after Chiddush that they will be poor. There's 4 people that consider to be Mason. Elohim, Oni, a poor man. Sumo, a blind person. Umitsoira, Saras. Umishayin Labonim, someone who doesn't have children. It says that they died. They didn't die. The people are looking for you. They lost their power. They have no money. It says, he put me in darkness like a mace. When he's speaking about Miriam, she doesn't be like mace. She says, if you're not going to give me children, I will be dead. So you see that all these people consider to be dead. So that was the punishment of Am Yisrael, that they will become onim, they will become poor, not that they will have misa. Shmuel says, please keep the mitzvahs. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, Am Yisrael, please keep the mitzvahs. Please, Am Yisrael, listen to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And then I'll destroy their enemies. If you please, if you listen to the mitzvahs, I'll give you shalom with no limitations. Says, just listen to my mitzvahs and I'll give you whatever you need. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is saying to Am Yisrael, please, I want you to keep mitzvahs. Says he gives the musa to Am Yisrael. So Levi, there will always be Rishemai. You should have say, you give it to me. Be accurate. So, meaning, what's that? They didn't want to ask Yisrael to do it, because then it'll have to be Maki Toiva. Right? To say, Yisrael, thank you so much for giving me Yeshua. We will do it, no, I don't want you to give me Toiva. Let's go Kfir Toiva. It's bothering them to be able, they need to say thank you. B'nei Kfir Toiva. Kfir Toiva Dechtiv. So that's right. What's the Dechtiv? V'nafshenu Kotza when the family base, but Lechem HaKlokel. So it's so interesting. So the way it really is, first of all, he says, you Kfir Toiva in the fact that you should have said right away that you want the Hakadosh to give you your Shemaim. Now you always create Torah. You didn't want the money. The money Hakadosh gave you not to go to the bathroom. You said I don't want it anymore. Although Rishon also was create Torah that he said Hakadosh Baruch the woman you gave me, she gave me to eat. So Moshe would not tell them right away. He waited 40 years. It took you 40 years. And then you give you levadas. So after 40 years, he's giving the Musa to Am Yisrael. What's that? More explains. A person doesn't really understand his Rebbe until after 40 years. So Moshe Rabbeinu waited 40 years for Am Yisrael to understand, maybe chap and take it to heart. And after 40 years, they didn't do it, then he gave the Musa. What does it mean Hashem Yisrael is not choiskim the Torah reveals chasodim Yitzro Mosur biyodom ve'einem Yisurim biyad Yitzro. So Ashrei, what Ashreichem, that when you are oiskim Torah mitzvahs, which we'll see it's Zoy al Kol Mayim, so then mishalchi regel Shor v'chamor, then you hit away, you throw away the Shor v'chamor. As more, that's the Yetzer. Sheichem Zoy al Kol Mayim means Zuriel Zdoko. Shnei Mar Zuriel Lechem Zdoko v'kitzui v'chesed. So Zriya, it's Dok. So it's Dok and Tayu. And here, as the Teis points out over here, and the Mishalchi Regel, so Teis says the Mishalchi Regel is the Yetzirah, because it's called the Rech, so they take away the Regel. Which Regel? The guest. Which guest? The Yetzirah. Now we dash Shor okay, Chamor Lamaso, a person should take the yoke of Torah like a Shor and a Chamor, and that's the Shor Chamor. So the Shor Chamor refers to already what they're doing. Am Yisrael is Shachir Regel, take away the Tzara, abide, but take them on themselves, Toyro Shor V'Chamar. Very good. Zuk Gemara. So that was the end of that Agada that we started the Masechta with. And what goes back now to the first Mishnah that told us that for 3 days, you're not allowed to do business with a Goyim before the Yom Edom, the day of their Chag. Says more, do you need 3 full days? What is it? We have a din. Which means you're not allowed to shech a mother and a child, a cow and a calf, and the same day. And usually when someone sells a cow or a calf, you could say, I don't know why you're buying it for. It's possible you're buying it for charisha. You want to use it to plow the field. So I'm not telling you any, I don't have to give you any information. But there's 4 times a year, it's clear that when a person is buying an animal, he's buying it for shita. Because that's the day that everybody slaughters animals for meat. That's what people need. You need a lot of meat those days. So when a person is buying an animal, you have to tell them, listen, I know you're buying an animal. I'm assuming you're buying it for eating purposes. You should know, I just sold today the mother or the daughter. And you're not going to be able to shech that until tomorrow. So what are these 4 days you have to give this announcement because you're assuming everybody's buying for shechita? Veiluim, Erev Yontav Achar and Shachag, the Erev Yontav, the last day, which is Shmini Atzeres of Sukkot. Erev Yontav Rishon Shel Pesach, first day of Pesach. Erev Atzeres Rishon Shavuos, Ve'erev Rosh Hashanah. Why Davka these 4 days? The Torah here discusses why these 4 Yom Tovim. What about the other Yom Tovim? So it says these Yom Tovim are special. Atzeres, the Shmini Atzeres, is the day that it's a special day for Am Yisrael. Pesach, the first day is when Am Yisrael goes to Mitzrayim. That's when Am Yisrael starts. Atzeres is the day we got the Torah of Bein Nam Milachem. Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the year. Everything is mushpa. Okay, the very Yechezkel of Erev Yom Kippur Begol. The Yechezkel says that Begol they used to eat meat on Erev Yom Kippur. Another place used to eat chicken. That's after announced. So those days are lachilu. So what's the boy asking? What it says, you see how long you need to prepare for a feast. 1 day. That's only 1 day before the Yom Tov. You have to announce it. So why here you say you can't deal with the goyim 3 days before their chagah? So well, there's a difference. Then you want to eat the meat. 1 day is enough. How could they need to do a krova? They want to bring it as an offering for their God, so to speak. You need 3 days. Why? Because you need to go and check the animal and make sure there's no blemish. So you need 3 days enough. It says we have to start dealing with Hilchos Pesach 30 days before Pesach. 2 weeks. So even though, as Tais points out, the halachas that we learn in the Pesach is more for just to know Hilchos Pesach, but part of it is also to get ready for the karbanos. That's what it is. That's what we said 30 days. On the krova. So therefore, you need to get ready with karbanos. So you see the korban takes 30 days to get ready. Here by Yisrael, even a small blemish is a problem. Even Duk Shibayin is a small dot in that. By you need 30 days to really check the animal thoroughly. By then, the only issue is when you're missing a limb. But 3 days is enough. How do you know the Nerech can't bring a Chusever? You have to bring 2 mikol. What we call a chai mikol basar. Chai means all their limbs are intact. So from here you see that almost can bring a carbon, which is mechusay here. Now, that's our Kodesh Baruch. It's not for the Zara. So as Rashi points out, the Avoda the Zara continued offering to the Avoda Zara the same way their parents gave it to Kodesh Baruch. So they act the same way. So mechusay is the problem, not more. That's why we need only 3 days, not more. So more now, first of all, is dealing with how do we know the mechusay is a problem? Because this is Chaim Rashei Avarim Shalom. So we have a different draw show. The muta treifo. Chaim means it's alive and not a treifo. The Lloyd, so it says one treifo milechei zera nafko. It needs to be able to have children, and a treifo cannot have children. We talk about Noach. Noach says take the animals lachei zera to have children. Hanich lo ando a treifo in your That's if you say that treifo cannot have children without bovam without. Elo ando a treifo your ladies might come. Could ando that says the treifo does have children. What are you going to say? It has to be similar to Noach. The Dima Noach Gufe Treifo, Noach himself was Treifo. Tommy Tibbe. It says he was Tzalik Tommy. I mean, he was a good tzaddik. That's called Tommy. Tzaddik Tibeh, but he said tzaddik. So it was still Dima Tommy Bedrochim tzaddik Maiso. There is Drochim, meaning is Rashi says Drochim means how he acts. He's an unknown, he's Sharuach. And the Maiso, he doesn't steal. He does the right mitzvahs. Says the Gemara, so how do you know the Torah means he was not truthful? Well, Sagidai the Nerch Guva Treva, otherwise the Sagidai Treva, you want to know was truthful. Only that doesn't make sense. Apostle says you bring animals like you. He's a treifel. You bring animals a treifel. That can't be. Elamai means he was not a treifel. Bring animals like you, not a treifel. So after not going to meet so now why it says lachitzer? The verse says begin lachitzer means you should have children. And of course says what about treifel? Doesn't have children? No, you have mitchol. So what do you see in lachitzer? It says I want to be with you and live with you in the Tabor for a year. And then you should have a risk of them dying. If I feel Zoka, if you lose stars, maybe it'll be an old animal or a stars that can have children. Because Zara, that's why it says that you need to have the Zara because in order for them to be able to have children, not an old animal, not a stars. So you see, so what is more concluding? More says that the reason why you need 3 days by a guy is because he needs to check for any missing limbs. And that's why for food, 1 day is enough. For Am Yisrael, you need 30 days to check an animal. For a guy, 3 days is enough, and that's why 3 days before you make them, you don't do business with them. Maybe they'll come and prepare that and use it for their Avoda Zara, for the akrava of their Avoda Zara. Very good. We'll stop over here.